Marketing and Operations at the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We want to thank you all for joining us this morning. I'm just going to open up with a couple of housekeeping items, talk a little bit about the program while we're still waiting for some people to get logged in this morning. So hope everybody has their coffee in hand. I know that it's early this morning, but we're so grateful that you guys joined us this morning. We have about 28 small businesses registered for this program, courtesy of the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Wells Fargo. But again, just a few housekeeping rules. We are going to keep you guys all muted on our end throughout the webinar. If we have some questions, we'll open up the mics. But if you do have any questions, please go ahead and use the chat box. Our staff is monitoring the chat and we'll field any questions and share them with our speaker today so that he makes sure to respond to them. Our presentation will also be recorded this morning, just to let you all know that. You will be recorded, and then the presentation will be posted on our website following the presentation. If you'd like to go back to it to maybe capture something that you missed or to revisit it, it'll be there, and all that information will be provided to you following today's session. You'll receive all materials via email, which will include a small survey as well. We ask that you please fill those out for us. And another reason for you guys to add your contact information, so phone number, email address into the chat bar for us to make sure that you receive those communications successfully. So make sure you get that included to the chat for us. Again, basic information, name, company name, email address, best phone number to reach you at. So Elizabeth, you want to go to the next slide? Awesome. So just a couple of, a little quick overview regarding the classes for you all. I'm sure you've read this when you registered as well. We just wanted to refresh your memory a little bit. All of these classes are going to be about 2 hours in length. We know that they're a little bit longer than some of the typical webinars out there, but we're going deeper into these subjects and think you guys will get a lot of value out of them. They're designed to really help you grow your business and arm you with some new skills, hopefully. We're going to conduct these classes for 6 consecutive months, so 1 webinar a month. We'll also ask you, again, to please complete those brief surveys for us. As I said, we received this courtesy of this wonderful grant from the USHCC and Wells Fargo. So you guys will be giving us a lot of help if you completed those surveys to help us make us eligible to receive hopefully the same grant again next year and in the following years. The other piece is that we ask that all participants complete all 6 courses in order to receive credit, and in order for us to receive credit and to continue receiving monies for this program as well. So please complete all courses. If for some reason something comes up and you can't, as we understand things do, please notify our staff and we will make arrangements for you to view it at a later date, okay? So I think with that, do we have another slide? I think we're good to go. So with that, again, thank you guys for joining today's webinar. Don't forget to complete those surveys at the end. I am now gonna turn it over to our CEO and President, Monica Villalobos, to offer a few welcoming remarks. Monica?
Thank you so much, Christina, and thank you all for being a part of this. This is a huge honor for us to be part of a national program, and I want you all to feel honored, and also that you're going to get a lot of wonderful information that's needed. These are difficult times for our community. We understand that, and we are here to provide help and services. I am so grateful to Ramiro Cavazos, President and CEO of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Quite candidly, one of the things that we've heard in the past years is that programs haven't trickled down to the state level chambers, and Ramiro has been instrumental in making sure that the chamber members of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce are getting the resources that they need. So this is really an important time for us. I keep saying, you know, if we can't work with our members now and help our members now, then what are we doing? We've got a 70-year history history of doing that. We really sprung into action early in the pandemic. And so in early April, we were able to disseminate funds immediately to our members. We've given back $200,000 to our members in the form of microgrants and provided them with technical assistance. A large part of that funding came from Wells Fargo. They stepped up to the plate and provided a significant contribution so that we could pass that on to our members. So not only are they funding this program, but they also funded the success grants. And I know that a lot of you on the call were beneficiaries of those success grants, and they're absolutely critical to help our businesses going. What I will tell you about our success grants is that our latest poll indicates 100% of the grantees remain in business. And that is what those grants were for, to make sure that you had the sustainability to stay in business. So this is a really big deal for us. We're so excited. Thank you very much to the USHCC, also to Wells Fargo. You're going to get a lot of valuable information today, and I really hope that you will share that with others. It's my pleasure to introduce at this time the President and CEO of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, who's with us today, Ramiro Cavazos.
Buenos dias. Thank you, Monica, for your leadership. Thank you for the privilege to join you today for this great program that the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has launched. It is my pleasure to represent a chamber that is based in Washington, but represents chambers such as yours that need additional support and resources to help our Hispanic-owned businesses and our small businesses. So I want to thank you, Monica, for your longtime leadership in Arizona in economic development. You are a border state and a state that is fast-growing and an economic development juggernaut on its own, and Arizona needs your leadership. And so thank you for partnering with the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank you, Monica, for being a member of the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and being an active participant in joining forces in providing more resources to small businesses. I also want to give thanks where it really should go. Also, you thanked us at the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but we are just an instrument, a vehicle to leverage resources for our 250 Hispanic chambers around the country, representing close to 5 million Hispanic-owned businesses during difficult times, no question, but it's a community of 61 million Hispanic Americans. This country is a Hispanic country, and thanks to partners like Wells Fargo and a great leader like Joe Trimble, I want to thank Joe for his financial support through the Wells Fargo company and the foundation that allowed us to partner with you, Monica, in Arizona. And we selected Arizona for a reason. It's because you all have great things happening with your chamber. You are an advocate for small business, and you all have also been doing this work for a long time, like you said. So for us, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Monica, for the privilege to represent our chairwoman, Carmen Castillo, herself, a woman-owned business, an immigrant-owned business, and our board of directors and our staff. I want to thank our staff for partnering with you, Brianna, Richard, Leroy, Fernando, and of course, Felipe and everyone, because we're here to serve you, Monica. So whatever we can do to continue to share resources, grant dollars and corporate dollars to Arizona, that's our job. I used to run the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce as a CEO before I was hired a little less than 2 years ago. So my heart and soul are where you sit. It's how can we generate resources to local community, because that's where the action is at. So muchísimas gracias a todos. Congratulations to the AVANZAR participants. We wish you well, and we're here to support you and grow your business with the help of Wells Fargo and the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I apologize for joining you late, Monica. I was wrapping up a call. So thank you for being so kind in looping me in and allowing me to join you for the launch of your program. Muchísimas gracias, Monica, and thank you for your powerful leadership.
Gracias a ti, Ramiro.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ramiro, and thank you, Monica. So since today is our first session, our first kickoff, we do want to take just a few minutes. I know everybody has added their contact information to our chat bar, but we would love for you to take 20, 30 seconds, and we really have to keep it short because there's a lot of you on the line, to introduce yourselves. We would love to see you. So if you could make yourself seen on your screens, you should be able to unmute yourselves. I'm going to go ahead and call on you as I see you pop into the screen here. So please just give us your name, the name of your company, and just give us a little bit about why you registered for the AVANZAR program and what you hope to get out of it. Again, if you could keep it to 20 or 30 seconds, that would be fantastic. That way we can get to the meat of our program, okay? So the first person I see on our screen here is Zulema. Zulema, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm Zulema Valenzuela, owner of A&E Development. We are a general contractor and development company. And I wanted to join this webinar simply to gain the knowledge of all the information you guys are going to be providing. I think it's a great benefit to not only the Hispanic community in general, but all small businesses. So thank you.
Thank you, Zulema. Next I see, I hope I don't pronounce this incorrectly, Vrinda?
Yeah, hi, my name is Brinda Mamandi. I am the founder of Extend Solutions. We are a performance-based marketing firm. And I joined AVANZAR because I am an entrepreneur. This is not even 2 years in business. And with just how crazy times are outside, the AZHCC has been a wealth of resources and information. And this is the amazing platform. So thank you, Monica, Eric, and all of you guys for helping with making this possible.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Next, how about Lupe Encias? I think you're on mute still, Lupe. Are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes.
Great.
Good morning. Again, my name is Lupe Encinas, owner of Goodies Auto Glass, and I am here to learn and take advantage of the resources you are offering today. I think my business is really ready to take that next step. And I think with the Arizona Hispanic Chambers by my side, I'm going to be able to take advantage and be able to do that. So thank you again, everybody, for letting me be here today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We also have several of our staff on as well. We're going to skip them. They're putting their information in the chat bar just so you know who they are. But in the interest of time, we're going to skip our staff members today. But lots of them are on here listening in so that we can get to know you and support you as well. So next, let's hear from Yolima.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Yolima Otalora. I founder and director of Interlingua LLC. We teach Spanish to the police, the fire, the doctors. And I enroll in this class because I really believe that it's very important for the economy that the small business like mine develop together. It will be a very strong force in our state and our country.
Great. Thank you. Okay, the next person I see here is our very own Mari Rabago.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Mari Rabago, owner of Mari Rabago Productions. We are a marketing agency. Our goal is to become the bridge between corporate America and the Latino buying power. And I cannot be more honored and excited to be part of this program. And I'm like a little sponge ready to learn and absorb all the knowledge you guys are going to be sharing. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Fantastic. Wonderful to see you. Thank you, Mari. Okay, next, Mr. Jimmy Rios.
How you doing? Jimmy Rios. My company is Next Level Business Concepts Group. We are helping individuals with a blueprint for success and helping them get to the next level in their business. And I think this program for me is going to be very crucial to helping me round out a lot of those bases and be able to help our people even more.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Jimmy. Okay, next it looks like we have Noelle from, looks like Fresh from the Kitchen.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, Fresh from the Kitchen is a catering company in Central Phoenix, but we do go valley-wide. We've been in business going on 12 years this coming October. We've been part of the chamber for 2 or 3 years now. We always get the different invites for the different webinars. This one obviously just seemed wonderful and a good one to be part of, especially with the times being as they are. We all need the working capital. We all need to be able to spend our money and make money more effectively. So that's why this particular series seemed really
Fantastic. Thank you, Noelle. We're happy to have you here this morning. How about next? How about Elaine? Elaine, are you able to? There you go.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Elaine Mamola, founder and CEO of Smiles by Delivery. We are a mobile on-site dental practice, and we provide dental care for the senior residents at nursing homes and also contract with the VA for the homebound veterans. I'm joining the seminar just to kind of learn about what we can do for growth and just learn.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elaine. Appreciate you being here this morning. Next, with our fantastic proud member background, if you guys are interested in that, we'd be happy to get that to you too for Zoom calls, is Evelyn Vega.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Evelyn Vega. I'm president of Staffing Strong. We're a national staffing company placing highly qualified marketing, engineering, and HR professionals in contract and permanent positions across the U.S. I'm so excited and honored to be part of this group and to learn more about growing our business and learning from all of you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Evelyn. Okay, next, how about Everardo?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Everardo Kimi. I'm with Photo Fusion Studio in downtown Phoenix. We're a photography studio that offers multiple photographers, so that way our clients get the best of what they need. I'm joining this program because doing everything by myself and with assistance, this is the year to grow into a full-time staff. So being surrounded by a great community like this and having programs like this is exactly how I'm going to get that done.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, how about next we have Mr. Sean Charles.
Morning, everybody. Sean Charles. I own a company called Oasis Senior Advisors. I help families and seniors find independent living, assisted living, or memory care communities in Arizona, specifically in the East Valley. And I'm here because I want to learn how to grow my business and take advantage of some of the resources allocated to individuals like me that have small businesses.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sean. Okay, next. I know I have met this person before. I'm going to try to get the name right again. But next, I want to ask Tada to join us this morning and introduce herself. Sorry about that.
Oh, no. Thank you, Christina. It's Tada. My name is Tada Autone, and I'm the owner of Jackrabbit Development. We are a company that does design builds and promotes sustainable lifestyle. So we're saving you money while saving the earth. And I joined the program because we are looking to really scale into being a large-scale enterprise and learning how to access capital and present to investors in the proper way that will help them deliver capital, because in general funding, women only get 2% of funding in the nation. And so really learning how to present to be at that level to actually access that other 98% would be really wonderful. So thank you for inviting us, and thank you for letting me be a part of this group.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us this morning. Okay, how about Mr. Henry Alexander next?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Henry Alexander. I'm the owner and certified detail technician for Splash Mobile Wash, and we are an automobile detailing company that we go valley-wide. We recently just opened in Tempe, Arizona, our brick and mortar for detailing. So what we're looking to do with this program is to find as many resources we can to help us grow our business and take it to the next level. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Henry. Okay, next I see Carlos Rosales.
Good morning, everyone. Carlos Rosales. I own an insurance agency. Actually exclusive agent for Allstate. Just looking to grow, really, just take my business to the next level. So definitely glad to be here.
Great. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you for joining us. Next in line we have here Mr. Ricardo Reina. Ricardo, we can't hear you for some reason. I don't know, Elizabeth, is it an issue on our end?
Oh, is that better?
There we go. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I apologize for that. It's because the audio was not working through the app, so I called separately. Yeah, so I'm gonna start again. My name is Ricardo Reyna. I'm the owner of a small business called Reyna Rebuilds, where we sell automotive rebuilt engines, mostly for work trucks and like muscle cars and stuff. We make our engines in Mexico, so we're trying to, you know, help the economy there as well. And I applied for this program because ever since I joined the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce about a year ago, every single opportunity that I have came across has been wonderful. So I'm very thankful of everything, and I just keep learning a lot of things and finding new opportunities to grow. So that was the main reason why I'm here. I'm just trying to learn as much as I can how to grow the business and be involved with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ricardo. We appreciate you being with us today. Okay, how about next we hear from Imelda. Are you able to take yourself off? There we go.
Yes, I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody. I'm super excited to be in this program. Like some of the members already stated, it's just, you know, to help my business grow and take it to the next level.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us, Imelda. Okay, next, how about Denise Adame?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Hope you guys can hear me. I'm Denise Adame. I'm associate broker with Home Pros, and I just recently joined the Chamber of Commerce to network and connect with other professionals in my industry, specifically, obviously, the Phoenix area, to see how we can help each other grow. We have a small boutique real estate firm that focuses heavily on digital marketing and branding, and we're just trying to connect with individuals that we can help and network and learn with.
Great. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
Next in line, Lisa Toon. Can you introduce yourself, please? Oh, we can't hear you for some reason.
I know Lisa said that she was having some technical difficulties. So she just put in the chat that that she's Lisa James Toon, owner and chef of Carolina's Chocolate. I have plans on becoming a manufacturer in the near future and hope to get the education to do so. Welcome.
Perfect. Thank you. Good to see you again, Lisa. Her chocolate is delicious. Okay, next, Yasmin Venegas.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for having me today. I just want to say, like, I've been part of the Chamber of Commerce in Arizona for the last 6 years, and it's been so nice not to walk alone as a business owner, and especially during this year that it's been very difficult for everybody. I can feel like a great of support from you, and I'm always open to know all of your programs, the resources you have to offer us to keep keeping us in business and keep growing. So thank you very much.
Wonderful, Yasmin. We're happy to have you with us this morning. I think we're almost there. I think I got a couple people left. How about Valentina Huerta?
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everybody. My name is Valentina Huerta. I am the owner of Nona Urban Eatery and Catering, located in Old Town Scottsdale. We've been in business for about 4 years almost. Looking forward to learning as much as I possibly can. I have taken it upon myself to be a better business owner during this slow time, and also looking forward to building a community of like-minded entrepreneurs. That's one of my goals.
Fantastic. Thank you, Valentina. I think I've almost got everybody. Did I get Linda Valenzuela?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Linda Valenzuela, owner of Linda Valenzuela Salon. I'm a hairstylist, and I'm very excited of being part of this program. I'm always wanting to learn as a hairstylist, sometimes, you know, we dedicate ourselves to doing the hair color and the haircuts and all that stuff, and we don't work on our business. And that's why I'm here. I want to work on my business, see how can I grow and help others grow as well with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, a couple more. How about Mr. Luis Castro?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Luis Castro. I'm the Vice President of Process Control and Engineering. The reason I'm excited for AVANZAR because, oh, I forgot to mention, we're an engineering company. We specialize in automation for industrial companies, and we're also a UL 5088 panel shop as well. And I'm excited for AVANZAR because I know we're going to be getting a lot of valuable information that I'll be sharing with the company and definitely implementing in our daily activities.
Fantastic. Thank you, Luis. Thanks for sharing with us this morning. Okay, let's see, who else? Did I get Mabel?
Hello.
Good morning.
My name is Mabel Sosi. I own Spotted Horse Info Systems, LLC. My tagline is, we have an unbridled passion for digital information. I love to work with computers. I do WordPress websites, and I also do small business consulting sometimes with my federal contracting background. I also do tribal liaison services, business development, desktop publishing, graphic arts. Thank you for inviting me. It took a crisis like this to come to realize that I really, really do need to get serious with my financials. So, and of course, I'd like to grow some more. Thank you so much for this program.
Great, Mabel. Thank you so much. Let's see, did I get, Maida, did we get you?
No, but I will share a little bit about me. Let me see if I can put myself on the video, start video. Let me see. Here we go. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Mari Uribe, and I'm a district manager in community banking for Wells Fargo. And I'm here supporting Joe Trimble, representing Wells Fargo as well. And I'm also a member to the board of directors for the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And I'd like to welcome you all and congratulate you for taking part of AVANZAR program and taking this journey on to not only grow your business, as I've been hearing through all of learning from all your businesses as you're coming on board here and sharing your story, but also for helping and supporting our communities and continue to help improve our economy. So welcome.
Thank you, Maida. We appreciate you being on and supporting today. And I think the last person here, if I missed you, please speak up. How about Troy Wall? And I apologize if I pronounced your name incorrectly. Did we get you?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Troy Wan. You did pronounce that correctly. Thank you. I am the owner of Zania Pro Clean. I'm a janitorial company, and I also do house cleaning. I have a couple of sub businesses as well, making bath bombs and sugar scrubs. My son runs that portion, and my daughter also has a multimedia company. So I really appreciate the invite to this because I know I have a lot to learn, and I would like to use this information to also teach my young entrepreneurs. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Troy. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, well, we are going to get into the meat of it. Joe, I apologize. We took some of your time, but I think we can hopefully catch up. But first, did I miss anybody? If I missed anybody, please feel free to take yourself off of mute and introduce yourself. I'm going to take that as a no, that I didn't miss anybody. If I did miss you, my apologies. Please put your information in the chat and we will have you introduce yourself at the end of our program. But now we want to jump into the meat of our presentation today and why you all are joining us today. I want to again thank our partners at Wells Fargo, and I am going to introduce Mr. Joe Trimble, who is a business market segment manager over at Wells Fargo. He's going to be our presenter today on the topic of access to capital. So Joe, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you so you can get started. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. Nice to meet you virtually. These new ways of interacting have definitely been fun and also a learning experience. I'm so excited that you all took time out of your busy schedules to join us. I'm going to rewind a little bit and first off, just say thank you to Ramiro. 2 years ago, I was on a plane on my way to Philadelphia for the National USHCC convention. And I currently and today sit on the local board of directors for the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber. And I was on the plane with them, and we were on our way to Philadelphia. And, you know, as we were starting to just really look at and dig into everything that's going on in our communities. And remember, this was 2 years ago, so we had no idea at all what changes were ahead of us. But what we knew was important was really learning and understanding more about how, as a community, we can help businesses scale. And when we looked at all of those events and all of the sessions and all of the seminars, and I was at that time newly introduced to my friends now at the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, that I had a chance to kind of dig in and just understand the landscape. And what we realized early on was there was a miss or a lack of programs that focus on growth or what we call scalability in the small businesses of our current members as well as our current community members. And when we understood first that that was the need, we did break it down and try to understand what does it take to be scalable. And when we thought about the different moving components, we actually pulled from mentors of ours and really wrapped our mind around 4 key areas that I am confident that as we move through the sessions that you'll attend here for AVANZAR, but the 4 key components that we'll focus on, and I'm going to pick one of them today, will center in and around our people. So those individuals in our business who help run our organization and also share about our organization with others. We'll focus in on our strategy, which is what will I do and how will we meet the needs of the customers we're trying to serve. And excited that we have a wide scope of industries that are participants today, because what that will do is bring to the table new ideas, and innovation is one outcome that we've learned from this program. And then, of course, looking at execution, which is how we did what we did. And then also focusing in on cash, which is the lifeblood of your business, to really ensure that you feel confident as you take these steps to grow or to scale, that you have the needs and the means to make that happen. So I'm going to talk a little bit while I share my screen just about my history and what I've done with Wells Fargo. But I started my journey on the Stagecoach in 2001 as a part-time teller. And the banking world always fascinated me because I'm an analytical person. So I was, in my early years, really good at understanding and really looking at the numbers. And as I was in high school and graduated and moved on to college, I realized quickly that banking was for me. And I've always had a soft place in my heart for small businesses, because part of my growing up was actually being a part of many different small businesses in Arizona and New Mexico. I have family members who took that leap and that journey and actually run their own businesses. Now, I spent a lot of time with them as a kid, but I was young. I didn't understand truly what it takes to be a small business owner. And in my 19 years here at Wells Fargo, I've really put some momentum behind how can we do that and how can we help small businesses. And that's my passion. So as I was prepping for today and really putting together what I wanted to share with all of you, I wanted to approach it from what I thought would be most valuable. And that is coming with information that is pertinent to how you as a small business can build your relationship with your financial institution and become lendable in the process. So today we'll spend some time really honing in on cash flow, but more importantly, really looking at it from the perspective from your lens and from our lens, so that way you get a good grasp of what we look at. And we're Wells Fargo, but these concepts and theories are not proprietary to us. They are theories and concepts that we know are important to small business owners. So we'll spend some time reviewing that. So as we get started, participants, this is a journey. These are sessions, and we will spend a few months with each other going through this very valuable content. And I'm really appreciative of this because what I know business owners spend the most time doing is the act part of their business. So actually executing on their plan, when in reality, and based on some information recently shared by the JD Power Group and the Barlow Group, we've learned that what business owners should spend a majority of their time doing is in the plan portion of understanding their business. They should spend time thinking about their business and those goals and those long-term goals. Why? Because that's when you as a business owner can truly take your business to the next level. You've done this already, if you think about it, because where are you at? You're in AVANZAR, you have great relationships with the Arizona Chamber, and with that and with the added resources that this program will bring, you will not only focus on your business during these sessions, but I guarantee when you walk away, you will be focused on consistently doing that. Because being a small business owner, we don't start with the idea of overnight success. Yes, we all wish for that and hope for that, but it does take constant activity and behaviors that will help drive and propel your business forward. So what will we spend time on today? We are going to focus first really around cash flow, and cash flow is a key indicator of the financial health of your business. A consistent positive cash flow will help you pay expenses, invest in new opportunities, and grow your business. Cash flow is an essential part of running a business as it highlights the cash that goes in and out of your company. There's that first lens that we'll layer on to help you really understand from a lending perspective and a financial institution perspective what we'll look at as we engage you about your small business. So today we'll cover how cash flow works. We'll explore cash flow considerations during each stage of the business life cycle and share with you some suggestions on how you can take control of your cash flow and make it, and here's the key word, make it a manageable plan. And with COVID and all of the challenges that are in front of us, having something manageable is critical to being an effective business owner. So let's jump right in and we'll get to our first topic. And I wanted to do some level setting here. So first of all, it's important to note the difference between cash flow and managing cash flow. Cash flow is the flow of money moving in and out of your business. Managing cash flow is the safeguards that will help ensure cash flow remains positive. Those two together is what will help us create the plan. Now that we know the difference, we'll discuss the 4 key areas that will center our conversation around today. So the first area is making and receiving payments. The first area, or receiving payments, focuses on the number of payment options available and the frequency with which a business receives its money in their accounts. Think about today's environment. That has probably been the biggest change as a business owner that we've had to pivot and really work on. As we started COVID, and Wells Fargo did this through some external resources, and we've surveyed a majority of our customers across the country. But what we learned is that business owners truly have and are learning still how to pivot and work on receiving payments from their customers. That's reestablishing your customer base. The second area of cash flow management is making payments, which addresses how business owners may achieve better control of how and when money leaves their accounts. As we move past making and receiving payments, let's look into possible safeguards that may help your business maintain positive cash flow. The third area we'll review is evaluating potential credit options. Credit may help your business manage and supplement business cash flow. And finally, the fourth area to consider for cash flow management is having a proactive plan that helps prevent cash flow disruptions. There's an acronym that I use a lot with business owners that I help, and it's TPAL. It's think, plan, act, and learn. And we're going to do a lot of that today to ensure that you walk away with some new ideas and concepts that are transferable immediately back into your business. All right, so let's dig in and we'll look at specific areas where we can enhance our cash flow. So sufficient cash flow is a key element in demonstrating your business's viability with potential lenders. But some small businesses may have poor or slow cash flow, which can be caused by anything from inadequate pricing to trouble collecting receivables. Consider and really take to heart these 5 tips for getting a handle on your business's cash flow. The first is accelerate your inflows. This is about sending your invoices immediately, follow up quickly, and offer multiple payment options to help bring in the revenue. The next is monitor your cost. Track your regular bills and due dates, understand how often your inventory turns, and know your payroll obligations. The next is watch your outflows. You may consider using business credit here. This will allow you the opportunity to take advantage of trade discounts and even negotiate arrangements that may help you conserve and control cash payments. The next piece is cover your taxes. Here's where we set aside an appropriate percentage each month to help avoid penalties and make cash flow more predictable. The number one cause of a loss of cash flow is the uncertainty or the unknown. So as we uncover these 4 and placed in the last 5th one, this is where I truly helped build the content around what it takes to be a cash flow manager and have that manageable plan. And that one is challenging everything. This is probably my favorite saying, and it's a saying that I learned from a really respected person in the financial world, Warren Buffett. And he actually writes a book called Warren Buffett's Accounting. And I do a lot of reading. I'm a learner, and as I had a chance, as a mentor of mine shared this book with me, and as I started to dig in, I realized that, you know, as we think about our business and as we think about shareholders or investors who are interested in our business, the first thing that we have to be really good at is understanding the ins and outs of our business. So the book that helped me put this content together looks at small business from the lens of an investment. And in reality, that's what it is. It's an investment in time. It's an investment in patience. It's an investment in encouragement and support, and an investment in rallying around each other. And I know one of our participants in their intro shared that. We get better as a business owners together. And if we spend time today, and that's what we're going to do. So our ask of you is to really think about your business. And as we cover these core topics, I want you to layer that lens of challenge everything, and not just what that challenge would look like, that we'll get there, but also when was the last time you've looked or challenged the different components and moving pieces of your business. Because without the challenge, we consistently stay in this world where growth can be somewhat of a goal on the horizon, and we want to move that from the horizon to right in front of you. And if we break this down into some statistics, and remember I shared with you I'm analytical, but if we break this down by our businesses across the country, there are about 28 million firms or small businesses or businesses that operate in the US. Of those businesses, 96% of them gross less than $1 million. So that means only 4% of all businesses across the country gross more than 4% or more than $1 million in revenue. And there's some reasons for that. And I'll ask for some volunteers or some participation here in our text chat, but think about it. Why do 96% of our businesses make less or gross less than $1 million in revenue, in profit every year? What are some ideas? Henry says poor management, good. What are some other ideas? Anyone? Oh, for planning, good. Yep, no business plan, cost of labor on high and service cost, very good. I could sum all of these up into one word, and that's complacency. If we think about
Oh, I think we might have lost Joe.
I think I'm back. Yep. I'm back.
Okay, great.
Yay for Zoom. They've been having a lot of problems with everyone returning back to school. So
Right.
we're roll with the punches and keep pressing forward. So if it happens again, my apologies. But what I was sharing, and as I got kicked off there, is, you know, if I could sum up everything in the text chat, I would sum it up with complacency. And that, to the points made in the text chat, that really comes down to the lack of planning. It comes down to the lack of vision, and it comes down to doing the same things over and over. Another book that really stands out to me as a small business owner, and one I share with individuals I work with a lot, is from going from great to good, or from good to great, I apologize. And in that book, the first really sentence talks about that complacency and how, as a business owner, how can we avoid that and find ways to consistently build our processes, because what got us here will not get us to where our ultimate goals are at the end of everything that we're wanting to accomplish. All right, so pretty long-winded intro. Let's get into it and start focusing on the different components of what cash flow brings at different stages of our life cycle. So every business is unique, but many share common needs and characteristics. Many of those are based on where they stand in the life cycle of the business as it evolves from an idea into a mature company. So let's start with our first stage of life cycle, which is our seed stage. So for those of you who are in that life cycle phase, or it may be someone who is now running a business today, but maybe looking to layer on a new concept in their business. We've seen a lot of that happen recently. You know, let's take restaurants, for example, and how they've adapted and pivoted from going to being fully open at full occupancy to maybe having a reduction in that, to even looking at new ways to get their product to their customers, having those ability to layer on and add new businesses or new concept in your business. This cycle will repeat. And honestly, if we think about COVID-19 and where we started our journey back in March, as business owners, we all should have taken a step back and placed ourselves back in the seed portion of the life cycle. Why? Because it will, what it does, it will help us get to a place where we can reestablish our customer base. Why? Because there is a need to relook at or to rewrite your business plan. And more importantly, there's a need to really find what that funding strategy will look like to help your business operate. And as a business lender or a small business lending institution, this is a concept that we are educating our teams around, because things change dramatically. How we receive money changed dramatically. How we paid out money from our business changed. And as we think about how we can rewrite our plans and identify these new steps and what we want to do to accomplish our goal. Our goal may have not changed, and it shouldn't have, but how we get there definitely has. And at this point, it's up to us as business owners to pivot and to really take that business to the next level. So let's move on to our next piece of the life cycle, which is our startup phase, which really moves us into how we secure funding. And it's why I'm excited to be a part of AVANZAR. You know, as we hear from our bankers inside Wells Fargo and from business owners across the country, and you know, I have the privilege of supporting businesses across multiple regions. I support New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, and Southern California. And the biggest mystery still for business owners is where are those alternative means to securing financing? And financial institutions are one avenue. And what makes me proud to be a part of this with the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is that they allow the opportunity to educate more on what's out there in our communities. Monica talked early on about the grants that were provided and how that supported business owners keeping their doors open. And that's where, as a community, we can really rally ourselves together and really pull together these alternative means. The one group that comes to mind that supports businesses early on in the life cycle or the cash flow stages is our community development financial institutions. Those organizations that work with financial institutions like ourselves to be able to provide lending to business owners when it is not the traditional method or when our traditional methods don't work for a small business. And yes, they work often, but there are instances, depending on where we're at in these cash flow stages, that could hinder or prevent that lending opportunity. And that's what I feel AVANZAR will help us do, is help solve some of those mysteries and really bust some of those myths, because lending is out there, but it does take some legwork to find and to secure that funding. The next phase of the life cycle is growth. And as your business grows, your cash flow needs will change. You may want to be able to take advantage of opportunities as they arise, while at the same time, you may begin to enjoy greater success or greater access to financing. During the growth stage, prioritizing saving cash 3 to 6 months of what you expect to need may help you prepare for emergencies or slow sales periods. If you plan to hire employees, consider that you may have a higher payroll expense before you can recognize the additional revenue these employees may bring. And a lot of that has to do with how relationships are built. Imagine if your business is you plus 2 people. How many relationships are in that business? Well, there's 2, right? You and with them, and them with you. Well, think about what happens if you add an additional employee. That expense and those relationships increase. They actually multiply. So now instead of 2, now it's 6. If we add an additional 1, now it's 6 times 4, now it's 24 relationships. And all of these add processes and expenses to your business. So as you plan out what growth looks like, having a clear-cut structure in your business with clear
Uh-oh, looks like it's a little frozen again. We'll give it a couple seconds.
Yeah, let's give Joe a couple seconds. I think that Zoom is trying to catch up with all the kids back to school.
with the organization to help support that. Did I lose it again?
You froze for a minute, so you might want to back up just a little bit.
Okay, apologize. Yeah, it's weird. My connection says unstable.
No
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's go back to growth and really where we focus around cash flow needs. This is, again, that piece that talks about as we take our business to the next level, the first and most common thing business owners want to do is add employees. And I caution you before adding employees to really make sure that you have the ability to focus in on what that impact that will have on your business, and more importantly, how and have you saved cash for emergencies or slow sales periods. That's that cash flow piece. Christine, let me check in. Is everything still functioning okay?
Yes, you are still good.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
All right, let's move to our next as we continue to process through our cash flow. I know we're gonna spend a lot of time in the growth area, but there are still 3 components after growth that help us manage our business. The first, for maturity, is even when your business reaches maturity, your business may never stand still. While your focus at this stage may be on staying ahead of the competition and improving efficiency, you need to continue to still monitor your cash or burn rate. If too much cash is flowing out, evaluate whether you still need all of the services / equipment and facilities your business is using. This is a great activity to focus on especially in our current environment, especially with the challenges that are in front of us, because this will give you that opportunity to start challenging everything about your business, from your vendors to your suppliers to your manufacturers to your distributors to even how your employees are successful. I see some text going in here. Am I still okay, Christina?
Yep, I hear you loud and clear and see the presentation fine.
Awesome, thank you. The last two focus in on expansion. And expansion, a major expansion can take your business to new places. If you have substantial cash available, you may be able to use some of it to fund expansion. If you plan to borrow money, know that lenders will expect to see cash flow projections. Cash flow projections indicating how your increased revenue will enable you to repay your loan. That's a key concept, so let me repeat it. If you plan to borrow money, know that lenders will expect to see cash flow projections indicating how your increased revenue will enable you to repay your loan. That's your first insight in any relationship with the financial institution on what we're going to look for and need to build a relationship with you and your business. And this is an important concept, and we'll tie up today focusing in on what that looks like. And last but not least, as you plan your transition or plan beyond your involvement in your business, and there was a big exit recently that I'll use as an example. If you're familiar with the organization called Zappos, recently their CEO stepped away from the business. Why? Because the vision he originally created at the beginning, the reason why he started his business, he met that goal. And now, as he looked on how to grow the business to the next step, he realized him stepping out and giving an opportunity to a new leader to reestablish that goal will help him take his business to the next level. And that to me was kind of a shock, because we always think about us and running a small business, and what we think about is us being a part of that small business forever and being a part of that business for the life of the business. And in this case, he saw that his ability to do more from the outside was more effective in the long run than being a part of it. But that's a long way out. And he's been doing that for 20 years. And I know most of you said it's either new or you've been in business for a little while. So we haven't hit that goal, but we always want to keep it in mind as we get to that stage, because cash flow will change and how we examine our cash flow will change as well. All right, so we've talked about so far today the life cycles of our business and what cash flow means in each of those cycles. Now let's really dig in and learn more about the various stages and how cash flow can help us really wrap our arms around the different moving components. So the financial health of a stable business can depend not only on strong revenue, but also on how you optimize cash flow and how you arrange your time in your business to focus on the planning portion of what you need to do to continue to operate your business. So let's look at our first one here. So fortunately, there are some types you can take, fortunately, there are some steps you can take to minimize cash crunches. Managing how you make and receive payments is the first step to supporting the health and success of your business. Here are a few tips that may help you better manage payments and your cash. Getting paid faster. This sounds obvious, but can be difficult to achieve. Make it easier for customers to pay you more quickly by offering enhanced point-of-sale options for customers. Payment via credit or debit cards and mobile wallets, you will make it more convenient for everyone. This statement is so true today. I think about pre-COVID and some of the opportunities that as business owners we had or went through. And when we think about how merchant services helps us, here's an area where you should be challenging your rate, your contract, and how fast your money gets from the merchant provider to your business. When was the last time you sat with your merchant provider and had a conversation about what that looks like for your business and what available resources are out there? you know, I have the privilege of working with my internal group, Wells Fargo Merchant Services. And when we first started COVID and started to work more with each other around collaboration and education, what we learned is that there are some pretty cool resources out there specific to helping convert businesses from taking orders even in person or receiving payment from your customer in person to doing it more in a remote space. One of my favorite items that was added in is the ability to convert from your let's say you're in the online ordering space now. There was an app, and I love saying that because there's an app for everything, but there was an app that could have helped take you from being a business who meets its customers' needs in person to a business who now operates online. And having the opportunity to review those beneficial programs within merchant services is a key component to how you can help successfully manage your business. The next is about paying your bills on time, but not too early. So getting paid faster, paying your bills on time, but not too early. The instinct to pay your bills immediately upon receipt shows good discipline, but can put your business in a bind by unnecessarily tying up your cash for days. By paying bills closer to when they're due, you may be able to better control your day-to-day cash flow. Manage cash crunches. Manage cash crunches, it really is it's not uncommon for businesses to run short on cash from time to time, but both significant purchases and everyday expenses can strain your cash flow. Rather than run your accounts to zero, consider turning to your bank for business credit options. Having your cash flow ready to go prior to is an important piece of how we help manage that. And then last but not least is track account balances with online and mobile banking. An account with online and mobile access can be key to a solid cash flow management strategy by helping your cash as it moves in and out of your account. I'm not sure if most of you know, but most financial institutions today offer some really cool resources for small business owners that give you the ability to understand your cash flow within your business by leveraging things like alerts and messages and tasks that most financial mobile banking apps have that allow you as a business owner to remove some of that day-to-day management and really give you an opportunity to focus more on that larger picture and the bigger plan. So now that we've learned about the making or receiving payment aspect of our business, we're going to spend some time here in evaluating our credit options. So creating safeguards to keep cash flow positive is the second step in maintaining a healthy cash flow. At some point in its life cycle, a business can face cash flow issues. Let's look at some of these options and some of these considerations that you'll want to leverage as you're really creating these safeguards to keep cash flow positive. Working capital. That is having the funds available to maintain a balanced cash flow cycle and to address seasonal needs, business opportunities, or unexpected expenses. How do we do that? We can do that through business credit cards or business lines of credit. Both of those vehicles give you the opportunity to use variable products or variable rate products to manage that day-to-day activity. These are for working capital specifically. These are there to help businesses manage seasonality. These are there to help you cover those employee spendings and may even help you offer optional rewards programs. And that's been one of my favorite changes in small businesses today. A lot of our businesses now offer a frequent customer program. And for me, I am a big frequent customer of a lot of businesses because one, I either like their product and or I like the service that they provide to us as a customer. And as we think about how we get there and how we understand what our customers' needs are to get to a place where we can add in a rewards program, we first have to understand the customer journey. And for us at Wells Fargo, being very transparent, that's where we've been spending a lot of our time. So we're a large organization. And the first thing that we did as soon as COVID hit was back up and look at how does our customer from point A to point E, so the 5 steps of the journey, how do we get them through that journey effectively? And to do that, myself and leaders like Myra that's on the phone right now had to understand what our customers were telling us. And we've made a shift as an organization to understand more of what customers need from us by stepping back and listening more than we're sharing about what we can do as a financial institution. And that, to me, has been an important change in our evolution. And when we think about our journey, I challenge each of you as business owners to put that hat on as a customer and take the steps through your business, from them either hearing about your business and what it looks like to be a customer of your business, all the way to the end, which is receiving the product. And I'll tell you that business owners that have done that today have learned a lot about how their business operates and learned a lot about what those breakdowns are in their business. Now, I'm not challenging you to fix those breakdowns, because that could be specific to a certain customer or to a certain product within your inventory. But the goal is to understand what they are, so that way you have an opportunity as a business owner to put those processes in place that will help you understand what a customer goes through in obtaining your product or service. And next is capital expenditures. Credit can help you add or replace vehicles and or equipment and other fixed assets in your business. Manage your cash flow with a lump sum of cash for your business purposes, like remodeling facilities, updating technology, or for vehicles and equipment. To do this, and how you can do this, is through business term loans. I know we've heard a lot about SBA recently, especially with our PPP program that SBA started to offer in early April. And when we think about capital expenditures, I'm going to hone in on PPP for a second. Today, PPP is now over based on the guidance of the SBA. It ended back in early August 8th to be specific. But now there's still an important aspect of what is on the horizon for PPP. And that's because the next step is forgiveness. I'd be curious just to see on this phone today, if this is a topic we'll stay on in text chat, if you received a PPP loan to help operate your business, give us a yes in the text chat for us. Here's my chat. Yep. So quite a few of us. And I'll tell you that, today PPP has helped you all, but it also has raised concerns. And regardless of whether or not you received it from us, I'm going to approach this from a CSBA perspective, because financial institutions, and why all of what I'm sharing with you is so viable and so important, is because what PPP did to our lending balance sheets. At Wells Fargo, we were able to secure or provide over 60,000 PPP loans to businesses across the US. That equates to about $12 billion in total financing. That is almost the same size as our current lending portfolio. So if you think about that, and that's just us, but I'll attest for other financial institutions because I know they're in the same boat. We have now been challenged with making sure that every single customer that received a PPP gets those funds forgiven. Why? Because if it doesn't, those funds will sit on our balance sheets. And why I bring this up is because within capital expenditures, this is an idea that I would place on your maybe 6 to 1 year goal plan, because right now, not every institution is lending in this space, because we're still trying to stand up our PPP program, but at the same time trying to make sure our customers have the opportunity to get forgiven. Why? Because as a lender, we see that PPP loan as a debt to you all as a small business owner. Even though the opportunity for forgiveness is there, it still hasn't happened. So therefore, we have to assume that that PPP loan is not forgiven, and that there'll be an amortized monthly payment if everything is said and done. Now, I'm not doing this to scare you, because I am confident that a majority of all the PPP loans done, regardless if it's with Wells Fargo or not, will get forgiven based on the SBA standards, as long as we followed the guidelines, which was using those funds to keep our employees paid, and then following the parameters So one takeaway for you all here is if you haven't yet today, reach out to the financial institution who you received your PPP loan from and make sure that you have what they're going to need from you to get that application forgiven. And it will take some documentation, just like it took when you were creating your PPP loan application. You'll have to do some of that proving again. And we'll save some time at the end for any questions as well, so I know this is.
Joe, if you can hear us, it looks like you froze up again. Let's give him a little time to catch up, everyone. Okay. Elizabeth, are you able to maybe text or shoot an email to Joe so that he's aware that he's frozen?
Yes.
Perfect. Please bear with us for a minute, everybody. I think, like we said, it looks like Zoom is having a few technical difficulties because of the traffic they're probably experiencing. I know my internet connection went down for almost a day and a half the other day, probably because of the same thing. So hang on just 1 minute. I know this is a long session. If you maybe need to grab another cup of coffee, visit the restroom, please go ahead and do that for a couple minutes, and we are going to do our best here to get Joe back on here and continue.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Christina. Let's take a 5-minute bio break, coffee break, whatever that is. It's 10:15 now. Maybe if we can get everybody back at 10:20, that would be awesome. And hopefully we will have Joe back.
Fantastic. Thank you, Monica. Okay, we'll see you guys back in 5 minutes.
Glad we're on break. That gave me a chance to get my internet here fixed, and it dropped myself and my daughter off of her class. She's here for so times, right? But here's what the internet does to us, and I'm even hard at, which bothers me even more. But who knows? We have some bad weather outside.
Don't worry, Joe. We gave everybody a 5-minute bio break and get coffee. So we've got about 2 more minutes left, and everybody will be back on board.
Awesome. Elizabeth, if you wouldn't mind making me a co-presenter again so I can reshare my screen. Thank you, Monica, for doing that. Appreciate it. Bailing me out.
No worries, the least we could do.
Perfect. It's about 10:20 now, Joe. So it looks like we had our 5-minute break. We've got Joe back, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully
Yes.
a fresh cup of coffee, water, whatever. But Joe is back with us. So Joe, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, and I went to my hotspot here since my decked hard line is not working. So we're gonna try it this way. So my apologies for the hiccups here today. I know how important these are, and I definitely want to make sure you get the most out of it. So, all right, so I should see my screen and should say cash flow management. Christina, is that correct? Yep, perfect.
That's correct. That's what we said. Thank you.
I just inserted some articles that I wanted to provide you all as takeaways for today that are from what our resource site called wellsfargoworks.com. Wells Fargo Works was a program that now we've had up and running for about 10 years or so. It's been renamed a couple times, but the idea behind it was that even in my career, as I was learning how to be more effective at talking to business owners, I did a lot of educating myself and a lot of research, but what I learned very quickly was that to find that information and to dig through all of the different components is very difficult. And what we wanted to do was to make that easier and to pull together resources that would give you insights in a way that it made it more appetizing, because what it will do is spike your interest. And then if the topic resonates or it makes sense or is something you're interested in, it gives you a bunch of different leaks to pull out of there to try to be able to find the needed resources. Well, we have an entire section on wellsfargoworks.com that is focused on cash flow and resources that you can use to help build your cash flow. So those are my 3 favorite articles that I use with business owners that I interact with. And because we know cash flow is so critical to the daily part of your operations, having these insights and resources are important. And there's a very nice PDF document that's embedded in one of those articles that will walk you through everything that we're doing today, but put some more substance behind it, so that way you have the plan in place that you need to take your business to that next level. So I'll give you kind of a summary of these so you can see what they are before you get to read them. So what I took away from those are ideas or strategies of how to help manage my business cash flow. The first is the forecasting your cash flow for the next 3 months. That's going to be your homework today. If you don't have a projection or a cash flow projection in place for your business, and we'll ask that, I'll provide at the end, and Elizabeth, I'll ask for you to help me with that. But there is a resource to a local organization that a lot of you are probably familiar with called SCORE, which is a business organization that is comprised of retired business owners that do some consulting business work. And I know I work a lot with the SCORE group in Arizona, and I found a lot of value in their cash flow cycle or cash flow projection tool. So we'll add that in towards the end. So you'll have that tool to take away, so you won't have to build one from scratch. We're going to give you the plug and play document, so it will be very easy to insert everything about your business. So that'll be homework. But after you get this done, the next step will be to review and update your forecast regularly. We put in here 3 months. In honesty and with the environment we're in, projecting even 6 to 9 to 12 months is not a bad idea. But we'll start small so we get a good understanding as we move through the rest of AVANZAR what our businesses, you all, have as terms of cash flow, so we can continue to provide advice and guidance around what that looks like. The next is monitoring your burn rate carefully. Burn rate is your negative cash flow, or the amount you spend each month. If your burn rate is high, you may run out of cash, and that's the obvious. But how can we avoid this? It's by consistently knowing what that burn rate is, and then more importantly, knowing how to manage that burn rate. And I'll show you some of what that looks like in a moment. And then last but not least is creating your cash flow statements on a monthly basis, which will give you an idea of what that projection looks like. You know, as we talked earlier in today's presentation, going into business is not to make an immediate win overnight. Yes, that's the hope, but in reality, it takes time, and knowing your cash flow on a monthly basis will help you plan ahead, which is our next one, which is getting your arms wrapped around cash shortages or unexpected expenses. Cash flow may vary month to month or even week to week. This is especially relevant for seasonal businesses whose revenues fluctuate throughout the year. Prepare for shortages by creating an emergency cash fund. You may consider using your cash reserves, or more importantly, using a credit vehicle to help you manage that. And then there is incorporating useful technology, tech tools. We've talked about some today. You know, if we think about in terms of receiving payments from your customer or how you pay your employees, technology is there to help. And I love, you know, that technology is becoming even more popular. I'm a tech guy, but of course we know there's some problems with tech. So having a fallback plan, which I didn't hope it would happen, but it did. But using other alternatives to reach your customers is important. As we create cash flow, we have to break it down and understand what are the two different components of cash flow and how do we help minimize the disruptions. So in less than an hour that we've been together, and when you work on your business's cash flow projection, we'll have you look at it from two different lenses. The first on the left is your forecast. Your forecast will be how you start to project your future cash flow and how we get you to projecting your cash flow for a full year. We'll ask you to focus on the timing of income and expenses to identify potential gaps and estimate how deep they may be and how long they'll last. We'll help you look for patterns and in your cycle. And then we'll help you, once you make this a regular part of your business planning, you can compare your forecast to reality to really help improve their accuracy. Now that you have the broader view, ask yourself how much cash you'll need to cover potential gaps or challenges. Take a moment and write that down and set it aside, because we'll need it as we finish up today's class and as you work on the homework of forecasting your business. So I'll give you about 10 seconds to ponder that and think through. If you were to guess today, and it doesn't have to be accurate, I just want you to wrap your mind around what it potentially could take to prevent cash shortages and or opportunities or hurdles that you may face in your business. And this will help us be proactive. And it's important to be proactive so you are ready when you encounter these problems, that you have a plan in place. The right side of this is that plan, and where you'll build that out. And again, I'll provide the resource at the end of today so you have the tool to take away and use. But let's deep dive in and create a cash flow forecast. Before you create a cash flow projection for your business, it's important to identify your key assumptions about cash flow in and out of your business each month. Key assumptions should relate to two primary areas. So this is where you're going to focus your energy. The first is receivables. These assumptions should outline how quickly you receive payment from your customers. For example, if most of your customers pay you within 30 days, a key assumption could be 90% of sales will be collected the month after the sale. And the second component of this is payables. These assumptions should outline when your payments are due. For example, if your vendors require payment within 2 weeks of delivery, a key assumption could be payables are due within 14 days of purchase. So we have two assumptions, receivables and payables. We have to understand our business. Is it service over price? Is it product price? Is it cost of goods sold? What are we trying to accomplish? And what are we trying to assume? And these assumptions will help us guide ourselves as we look at putting this on paper. So here is an example of a cash flow forecast. You can see the forecast, remember, looks at 3 months at a time. It starts at the top with operating cash. Operating cash is the amount of money you'll have at the beginning of each month. The next is sources of cash. Sources of cash is all the money coming in each month, receivables, collections, loans, etc. This is the money your business earns. The next section, and then of course we sum those at the end. The next section is uses of cash. Uses of cash list every likely expense your business may incur, such as payroll, accounts payables, to vendors, rent, and loan payments. So we gave you some examples here. The good news is the document that we'll provide at the end does offer more insights to what these are. But this is your, as a business owner, the biggest portion of what you really want to be accurate at is how you use your cash. Remember, cash is the lifeblood of your business. If cash is going too fast, aka your burn rate, you will run into cash flow shortages. So at the end, we'll add those up. So the total is uses of cash. So from going from top to bottom, so we can see again, the operating cash was 5,000. We added in 500, which is where we receive income in the month of September. And this is just an example. And then we take out the uses of cash, which get us here at the bottom, what our excess cash is at the end of the month. That number then carries over, and you can see that cycle start over in October. So now instead of 5,000 in cash, we now have $2,050, and we do the same thing again. In the next 2 months though, you can see that things have changed about the sources of our cash, as well as the uses of our cash. So it's important that not every month is built the same, but that you do look and understand that money moving in and out. Remember those two assumptions, because that's what will drive your positive cash flow. And you can see in the month of October, we ended the month a little lower than we did in September because we had more total uses of cash. Even with the increase in the sources, we still used more. And if we look at November, what helped us continue to build our cash flow was the new ways of sourcing cash. So in this case, ticket sales and merchandise sales went way up. So this is an example of a cash flow forecast. If we look at now a cash flow statement, this is where we start to put together as a financial institution, this is what we're going to look at. And the good news is the tool I'll provide has both of these resources embedded. So you'll have the opportunity to leverage that document to help build this. And of course, as we move through AVANZAR, we'll continue to work on understanding more about this and how we can help improve it as a business owner. So the first piece of this is cash flow from operations. This is cash used during your daily operations. Cash used during your daily operations, it really summarizes your additions to cash, but it also looks at your depreciation, which in a cash flow statement is something that a financial institution will take into account. We will account for any depreciation of equipment because we know that you are writing that off of your books, but it does help increase your cash flow because again, there's a benefit to having depreciation for your business. And then of course, we'll look at those increased accounts payable, which are how your customers pay you. And then of course, we'll take it through subtractions of cash, and then we'll go from cash flow from investing. And that's where I want to really spend some time here at the end, is the cash flow from investing. Check out what this can do as you purchase equipment. What does that do for your business? Does it continue to carry as a burden? No, because as a financial institution, what we'll want to know in the end is what will that new add to your business do to generate and to continue to generate revenue. All right, so I'm going to pause since we've talked quite a bit today, and we've been about an hour and a half in, and I unfortunately lost our text chat, Christina. So I'm going to leave this up just as a thought as business owners are planning to create their cash flow statement. Here are some questions to ask yourself. But I'd love to see if there are any questions in our chat that I can help answer for our business owners based on today's presentation.
Fantastic. Thank you, Joe. I think Elizabeth has been keeping track of some of the questions. Sorry that you lost your chat. Elizabeth,
it's okay.
Capture any questions, or if anybody on the line, feel free to open up your mic if you have a question for Joe while we scan the chat.
Yeah, one question that we got early on was from, probably gonna mispronounce your name, I'm so sorry, Tada. What if the CDFI model that really seems to tap out at a $250,000 ceiling doesn't fit either? I think this was early on in the presentation, Joe.
Yeah, no worries. As I think about that mark at 250,000, which you're accurate, most CDFIs tend to have limitations on what they can do. What I would say is I would really challenge myself to understand my cash flow, because at that level of lending, you are traditional bank ready, which if you don't have a relationship manager today, I would inquire about who that person is that manages your financial institution relationship, because at this point, it would be advantageous for you to discuss your cash flow. So I would create my cash flow forecast, my cash flow projection, and then from there, I would use that as my talking points with my banker to help them understand where my business is going in the future. So that would be my advice there, because capping out at 250, that means you are at a place now where cash flow should be solid. Now we need to demonstrate what that looks like and provide that realistic outlook on what that is.
Okay, awesome. Looks like someone was trying to ask a question. No? Okay, another question from her that I had heard on an MBDA webinar that those, I think she's trying to say maybe the PPP loans, when they are used to pay payroll, that on the flip side, the payroll expense is now not tax deductible. I think this goes back to when you were talking about the PPP loans.
Correct. And I'm not sure that question, and maybe I can clarify more with the individual, which I'll ask for your help on that, Elizabeth. But going back to what I know about what's coming for forgiveness is the importance of how we support our business owners. And my daughter's having problems here too with her internet. Same thing. Use your hotspot on your phone. Our whole internet's down. So log into your hotspot. See, everyone's having tech trouble in my house. Oh boy. But back to PPP, what I know about how the breakdown is, and I'll tell you that the official guidance is not finalized yet. We still have until this coming Friday. So the first Friday in September is when SBA is guaranteed that they'll really solidify what it looks like. But there is some talk about what will fall into payroll expenses, considering your retirement, your health benefits. All of that should be included, but there is some still mysteries out there. And I'd love to follow up with that individual once I know more about what that looks like. I hate saying something and then it changes tomorrow. We joke around, but our hashtag for the SBA is fluid right now. And that's because it is very ever changing. But the breakdown is 60-40, so 60% payroll, 40% for your the other expenses that are out there. And even then, there's still guidance that's missing that I'm privy to, but I don't feel comfortable just saying just yet until I see it in writing from the SBA around the PPP guidelines. So Elizabeth, if you don't mind connecting me with that individual, and I could spend some more time answering that question.
Sure. Absolutely. We have a couple more questions for you. It says, Joe, you mentioned this before, but wanted to clarify, what are the best payment options to offer our customers or clients? Would love to do credit card payments, but there is a 3 to 4% charge.
Yeah, that 3%, 3 to 4%, it sounds like they're basing your transactions off just debit. There are other embedded features within merchant services that do offer lower rates. What I would recommend you do here, and I would love to talk to you, Evelyn, if you'd like, but if you don't, or if your relationships with another financial institution, the guidance I would give is ask again about that, because rates have changed in the merchant world so dramatically. For instance, even at Wells Fargo, we are not using a base percentage on charges. We're looking at it based on credit card volume to help build a structured program that meets the needs of you as a business owner, because we know that the more that comes out in the fee takes away from that piece of the pie in which your business gets paid. And I know there's a breakdown, and we could spend some time talking about why merchant has a fee and where it goes, but ultimately there are alternative programs, from doing transactions just online to the benefit of obtaining a device that can offer and help lower your rates because it has added security features, to even an organization like us that teams up with the larger merchant companies and credit card companies, and where we in-house it all, which gives us the opportunity to lower that payment and to really build out that solid program. So if you haven't asked in a while, I would. I mean, if you want some help planning what that conversation looks like, Evelyn, I would love to do that.
Awesome, thank you. Comments from Imelda, great presentation. Thank you for your valuable time and sharing the business resources. I did receive a question here as well. So how do I separate personal credit liability from the business side? This individual is a sole LLC right now, but I'm trying to establish business credit.
Okay, and so it sounds like, and again, it's hard to assess the need without the clarity on the question, but sounds like we may have used personal credit to obtain or to operate our business. If that is the case, and Elizabeth, we'll do some follow-up on all of these because I want to make sure I answer this question thoroughly. But if that's the case, then at this point, we need to put a plan in motion to how can we help move that from personal to business. And to do that, the first step is creating your cash flow forecast to know exactly what your business is capable of handling in credits. And then from there, talking to your financial institution or to a financial institution about what that can be and what we can do around that. So it's hard to assess completely until I know the full financial outlook, but we can definitely have that conversation. I didn't catch the business owner's name, but I would love to have that conversation.
Yes, I'll make sure to connect you with that person.
Awesome.
As well. We have a question from Luis. With regards to receivables and payables, what are your thoughts on 1% 10 net 30? Could this benefit us on the long run, or is there something within it that could eventually not make it beneficial for the company?
So I'm a big fan of the 10 net 30 because what it does is it structures how you can make your payments and how you can help manage your cash flow. To me, that's the benefit. Now, long term, the one opportunity or byproduct I see is you have to challenge that often and ensure that it fits into your cash flow cycle. So if you remember on previous slides and the document that Elizabeth will upload into the text chat, it will actually it'll give you an opportunity to use that model as part of your process, because if you pay early, you get a discounted rate. If you wait longer, then you have to calculate what is the benefit of waiting longer. Does it leave more business in my cash in my business? And I have business owners kind of go either way. Some would rather take advantage of the discount, and some would rather not, because the compensation in both is not that great, depending on the size of the product or what they're receiving from that supplier. Great question. Definitely something that we can spend some more time on, and it may be a topic, Christina, for a future AVANZAR class. We can dig into what that looks like for business owners.
Yes.
We'll capture that.
Okay. Another little question from Lisa. I was approached yesterday with a 1% charge for credit cards, but I did not meet their criteria at $4,000 in sales a month. So there are many options.
Yeah, there are. And just like you all, financial institutions are pivoting as well. So challenge everything. And if you haven't recently, I would have a conversation with my current provider, or we can definitely help point you in the direction of alternative options, which we can definitely do.
Great. And yes, I'm getting a lot of feedback, more information regarding sole proprietor, single person LLC, separating personal from business to get business ready for financing. Two more questions here. One from Yasmin. Are interest rates on business lines of credit more affordable?
So as a whole, rates have come down in our economy. So right now, we're in what we call a financing economy. So taking advantage of the current low rates, if it's structured into your business, is conducive to success. So yes, rates have come down. Obviously, those rates are variable. So I punch note that because, again, depending on what happens in our economy, rates can go up, but again, it just depends on what the outlook looks like. And I like lines of credits to help manage those day-to-days, because it gives you the opportunity to use money, but you can also control the ins and outs when you use that line. Same thing with the credit card. The benefit of a credit card, which differs from a line typically you use for the larger expenses or larger emergencies. A credit card always has the benefit of, if you pay it off before the end of the month, you don't pay any money on it. So it's using your money without a cost. A line will act a little differently, but they are a great avenue to help manage your day-to-day expenses and or seasonality.
Awesome. And then Linda is commenting, Zelle is an option, money transfer with no charge.
No charge, yep. And that is on the horizon for us. So if you are a current customer of ours, we're integrating Zelle into the small business world, which is great. We finally got the capability through Zelle to help do that, because today what you're using is your personal email address, which there was a lot of concerns raised from business or from consumers on, why am I paying the person and not the business? It felt weird to them. So now you'll be able to actually use your business email address and or business contact information as the way for a customer to pay you on Zelle, which is pretty cool. So it's coming down the chute.
That's awesome. And I just shared that Excel spreadsheet that you mentioned from SCORE to everyone here. And we'll also share it in our post-event email along with our first survey for you all. So we'll share all those resources after the webinar. Another question that came in, do you recommend using a HELOC to add funds to a single person LLC with a home office only that doesn't have any credit whatsoever? Or would you suggest keeping business completely separate from the LLC?
Yeah, this one's a hard one because, obviously the goal is to finance your business. But, I have reservations on using any of my personal credit to operate my business, because what that does in the long run, and especially with an LLC, since there are some tax benefits of having it structured that way, it could not cause, if you structure it in the way of an LLC and use business credit, it wouldn't prevent you as a consumer from taking advantage of your buying a home or leveraging your home. So that would be something I definitely want to spend some time talking about. And I would consider it only if I've exhausted every one of my options on obtaining financing for my business. Because again, I'm using my personal asset to finance the business, and there's always risk associated with that. So I would definitely try alternatives for business before I looked at a HELOC or a home equity line of credit for my business itself to use that funds. Yep, and I see the last one from Mabel here. So Mabel, it's not out yet. Zelle is coming. It's something I'm working on. We should have it released in early September, so a couple more weeks. But yes, you will be able to add your business email to your Zelle profile, so business owners can pay you directly through Zelle through your business, rather than using your consumer. So it was a change we needed to make with Zelle first. That was where the roadblock was, and we finally got their ability to do so, and there were some governmental restrictions as well. So. And then I see one. Yeah, absolutely. We can schedule some time. Elizabeth's going to connect us all. So Elizabeth, you have my contact information if you would just include it in that recap. And I'd love to chat with anyone that I can from this session. I definitely want to be as supportive as I need to be.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. Are there any other questions from anyone? You could also feel free to unmute yourself, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it looks like
Wrap up with today, Elizabeth, just a quick snapshot of that Wells Fargo Works small business website. You got some great articles today, but there's a lot on there. You do not have to be a customer to use this, but please take advantage of it. We are very proud of this, and I'll tell you, I use it probably the most with any business owner because it gives us those talking points and ideas, and then we build off of those ideas. So wellsfargoworks.com. But Christina, I'll turn it back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Joseph, for sharing this valuable information. Lots of great comments and questions in the chat. So thank you guys all for participating today in our first AVANZAR webinar. Just a couple of closing comments. Elizabeth mentioned you guys should be receiving a follow-up email probably within the next 24 hours with the link to the recording of this presentation, any documents that were shared along with Joe's presentation, I believe, and of course our survey. Please don't forget to fill our survey out as well. If you do have any questions that we didn't capture, please feel free to reach back out to us. If you guys have anything following this or any questions, Elizabeth is happy to put you in touch with Joe if we didn't address anything. And I think we have a little bit of homework for you guys too. I know Joe gave you a little exercise to complete for your businesses, but when you get that email, we're going to also ask you guys to maybe do a little networking and get to knowing each other outside of our class. So Elizabeth and our team are also going to share your class roster, and we're going to ask that you reach out to at least one of your fellow kind of classmates here to get to know them. And then when we get started in our next session in September, we're going to ask you to share what you learned about your classmate and their business. So with that, I don't think that we have anything else for you today. I think we're right on schedule. We're finishing up even a few minutes earlier. Our next session is going to be Wednesday, September 30th on marketing. So we look forward to seeing you guys all next time. Elizabeth, did I miss anything?
No, I believe that's it. We'll go ahead and share all the resources. We'll see if we could upload the recording of the session if you might have missed something during the first restroom break we had. But thank you all so much. Appreciate it, Joe. This was really, really helpful. And I think we'll go ahead and conclude our session for today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Be safe. We'll see you in September.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you so much.